Welcome back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode on ET Ski Chats podcast. It's a roundup of the week. We've had a very exciting week. The top three have been in action. A lot of drama, a lot of highs and lows. We're coming to close of the league with the last two games giving us very exciting matches. All teams were in action. Look, it's a relegation zone down there. It's also the fight for the top four, the top three, and for that CAF spot. So stay tuned. And yeah, there's a lot of exciting things to talk about on and off the pitch. So yeah, social media has been a buzz. Where to really start with this weekend? There's a lot of interesting things that have happened. Man, look, when it comes to our local football, I think this is what we live for each and every day. When we wake up, Masvuga, spaghetti, we also want to be able to, analyze. It's fun, it's okay. What's going on here? Why are we seeing this player and all these things? So, for me, this weekend, it was really interesting to see. But if you remember in my previous episode, I did mention that expect a lot of surprises. Expect a lot of surprises when it comes to some of these teams who are going to make interesting changes that may actually impact their game or may give us the kind of mentality and the psychology or what's going on behind the scenes. What are these teams thinking? What are we willing to, or what can we expect in the last few games? And what are the ambitions for these teams? Because in the Siboni Kumanje, looking at things for me, the season has gone as much as we can expect it. The teams that wanted it most have actually made it this far, and they've shown that the quality that they've actually brought into the clubs. This is how they would like to probably see themselves and the kind of ambitions we can. But it's also interesting that what we can expect next season. But anyways, yeah, I know I'm going off on a tangent, but a spawn. Let's see where to start. Let's start with the Pirates and Isikukune game, right? Look, I did drop a video. Please go back to that video if some of you guys didn't actually get to understand what was happening. And also, yes, before we go any further, please don't forget to like, please forget to click on the subscription bell and also the notification bell for you to get updates and for you to be notified whenever I drop a new video. Yes, Pirates versus Isikukune. So there, a final before a final. It's very interesting, like I said before in my previous episode, that what you could have expected there is to be able to see a bit more, a new faces in the lineup. And this is what we got. And as you saw, there was a lot of also a bit more, but you know what I love? Let's start here with Pirates. What I really can appreciate is having a foreign coach who comes into the country. Look, he didn't have a good start, but he already has a trophy. He has won a trophy for them. They're at number 2 at the moment, and they look like a team that can actually challenge Sundowns next season. So this is what we need. This is what we subscribe for. If you have a foreign coach, you bring him in. We want to see. I think what we can learn from these coaches, not just earning a salary, telling us that he has all the papers and the badges, but we still can't see any difference. We could have just stuck to the coach there, the assistant coach at the moment from Arrows. Lineups. Look, I expected it. But from my side, right, when you look at how it was, I expected Erasmus to be there in the lineup. Kabelo Dlamini, the captain, because of his assist and him being able to offer an attacking fault. Saling is an obvious pick. Mboniba Buisumtetwa, because he had a good game against Kaiser Chiefs. Marco on the right again, still don't understand it, but if you're winning, if it's working, why fix it? And we saw Dion Hot. I think Dion Hot also was introduced there. Then we had Makahleni Makaula, and we saw Brendan sorry, Mickelton. Yes. So for me, that game was a very interesting game. I expected Pirates to win that game, or um, as you saw, a draw, because, like we said, they were going to be very careful. But I have to admit, for myself, I was expecting Pirates to be a bit more careful. They were adventurous. If you saw the stats, Pirates had more possession than Isekukune. But the thing is, my issue is, if you have possession, use it in the right spaces. If you are just going to be playing in front of the opponent, then you really are not asking the right questions. Make the right passes, unlock them in the right areas, make them uncomfortable. Sekukune, since Brandon Truth took over, they've been good, they've been solid at the back. They know how to defend, and he's got experience. Edwin Chima Nalo Ukadoso, they're very good defensively. They've actually built a good relationship there. So for me, the issue I would have is the fact that Pirates were not really, yes, they had a few chances. And look, from their side, we could argue that introducing Erasmus, they wanted more ball players so they can actually have circulation, more circulation of the ball. The issue is you can't introduce Erasmus and also rely on crosses most of the time. Let it be a last resort. Rather come inside, try to penetrate from the inside. Let it be your focal point. Let it be your 80% of the time this is what you're doing. But if you are going to be forcing yourselves or being pushed, because Brendan Truth, I remember I did mention, he's a smart coach, so he's going to frustrate them. If you heard his interview, that's what he says. No, we want to frustrate Pirates. So the only thing we're going to do most of the time, they're playing in front of us, they're not attacking. Either play on transition, rely on set pieces, or if we are on a transition, let them make mistakes that follow through in their own box so that they can rely on set pieces as well. And they've got good defenders who are good aerially. And Pirates have a record of conceding. Ooh, I'm going to talk about the goalkeeper, but also I want to make this admission in the fact that he has come in better than Umponjane for at times, especially when he comes out of the goal. The issue is, really, they knew that he has an issue. I mean, that goal, like 2 or 3 defenders had a touch, and Pirates, for the life of me, they were watching there. It was a good goal from their side, but when it comes to defending, individual brilliance can take you that far, because if you can see a good ball out of nothing from Saling, good cross to Fanu Chukwamanja, as expected, we knew that they pose a threat. Chukwamanja being the focal point of them challenging those aerial balls or being in those pockets in between Cardoso and Chima. He pose a threat, granted. But my issue is when you guys have to defend, you sleep at times. If not, the goalkeeper is not that ready for me, because in the 18 and the 6 yards, hey, that guy is everywhere. And we've seen glimpses of that, because he had a problem when he comes out. I think that's one of the things that they fixed. Now we have an issue of him having to handle the ball, or actually managing to organize his defense when they're actually defending against set pieces. And I think Brandon Truter, they actually capitalized on those things. And the defenders, ready on a good day, more than ready. So for me, that game, this is possibly what you can see in the final. We can see penalties going all the way if they don't score, or they happen to be it happens to be a draw until 120. I don't know if the final is going to be 120 or 90 minutes straight to penalties. But that cup final is going to be interesting in the technical shape as well. So we already can see that either, this is my prediction, either Sekukune could still stick to their game plan and defend, suck all the defend and just absorb all the pressure. But for me, if you sit for too long, you are susceptible to mistakes. You can't sit for too long. 90 minutes, 120. Nah, it can't happen. So for me, that game was very interesting. One thing I can take out from that game is that I didn't expect Pirates to go all the way. But now it's interesting because since they've drawn, they are level on points with SuperSport. So meaning number 2 still needs to be decided next week. in the final game. So for me, the only thing I can say is that the quality of Pirates have if they've proven. I mean, let's be fair, Pirates this season it's a different kind of Pirates, but we've always known from last season that if they could actually find a good coach that can actually combine these players well, we can actually see a good Pirates. I think if they started well, Sundowns could have had problems, but they actually organized themselves well, and they won the important matches very early on the season. So no, let's give our heads. Let's also give this new coach. He's come in his first season, and he's. I mean, we've seen a lot of players play under him have changed. Saleng is one of them. Umako has come out. Sbisi, Nokoki, they've been solid at the back, even though they concede almost every game. The goalkeeper is given a chance. He came in, and what I love about him, he is very quick in making changes that are very, very crucial for the team. So I think a lot of players, we've seen a lot of growth, a lot of development from these players, even the players who came in new. Miguel Tim as well. So there's the buzz, man. There's a lot of things that you can take out from what the coach has introduced. You can see that these players are really, really serious about winning. And the body language, you can actually tell that the coach is actually working on something, is cooking. And for me, I've liked Pirates how they've played. They really play a very exciting game at times. It's just that maybe 90-minute wise, because look, intensity is very good. I mean, the intensity, the tempo, they really dictate the game. The problem is, I don't think they have enough still to challenge the Sundowns in a sense that they don't play like that each and every game. They're not necessarily consistent. Now, to challenge Sundowns, I think the issue that you would have is that you have to be consistent. You have to be playing almost all the games the exact same way they've been playing. So it's they sleep at times, and you need the kind of quality where you can when you get chances, bury them. They have quality. They have Rasmus Chugumanje as well. Has shown that he can actually give them more goals, and they haven't really had a consistent scorer. Apart from Lodge being injured, we know that he's one of the guys who can give them that attacking. He can score goals for them. Saling as well. Hope to see him the same way consistently next season as well. So those are the kind of things that really separate the rest from the pack. If you are able to show that kind of consistency, game in, game out, each and every game you have to get in. So for me, they look like an exciting team, and we've heard rumors, some him here and there, that they actually are reinforcing really, really good players. With that in mind, looking at the technical team that they have now, I think I believe in what they're doing. And next season, I can't wait because of how they've played so far. All the best. If for me they win the Nedbank Cup final, that sums up their season. It'll actually stamp another thing of who could be potentially coach of the season, because he would have won 2 trophies unless Sundowns happens to win. He happens to win the CAF. But those are things we'll still talk about that in another time. But for me, that game, that's as much. I would leave it there. Second spot, it's a good shape. It's a good shape. Now, another game I wanted to cover. Supersport versus Kaiser Chiefs. Oh man, I think for Kaiser Chiefs they have to let's forget about this season. Let's just forget about this season. We shouldn't have expected much. I think I've discussed this, and we're still going to have intense conversations about this, because for me, the one thing that I've been saying, I think the talking points number one that we have to look at is the kind of inconsistency that the Kaiser Chiefs has had this season. There's been a lot of changes. The quality is not exactly there. You can tell. I mean, look, in this game alone, they look exhausted for me, and that only tells you enough to wrap up their season. I think SuperSport looked hungrier. They looked more sharper than Kaiser Chiefs. I mean, even in the midfield, man. Look, let's look at the players. Let's start from here. Let's go back. Let's look at what the kind of lineup that they came with. We had Solomon's. Uh, okay, let's start at the back because I'm really touched when we get to why was Solomon's there in the first place. But look, defense, we had Udove, Shanti, we had Ungezana, and we expected Foster to be there. So there's enough experience. Defense, solid. Then we had Ustebe, Numark, playing the defensive midfield, both of them. We had a double pivot Yabo. Then 4-2-3-1. So we also had Solomons on the right, we had Sahili on the left. Number 10, we had Umtutuze Shabalala and Dupree in front. Now, look at it this way. I think for me, there's not even a single player in that game that showed that they really wanted it. Number one, you have for me Dupree, Nosaile running aimlessly. Like these guys have got good pace, yes. But now it's easy to play against Kaizer Chiefs. I mean, come on. Kevin Hunt is an experienced coach. He's a seasoned coach. He's one of the longest coaches there. He's been there, he's done that. He knows exactly how to plan for this team. Like the only thing you need is to just main mark those people. And another thing, Dupree doesn't have pace unless he gets you 1v1 and he pushes the ball in front. But apart from that, you just sit next to him, watch him, and he's not a thinker. That's the one thing I saw. Saile as well. You pushing the ball, a good pickup from Kevin Hunt. You put in I think it's Keegan Phillips. He's got pace as well. So they were well catered for. Uhlatshayo, uhlezi no Saile kamnandi. Pushing him, shoving them. You know, the way SuperSport planned, the players as well, mentally, they were there. Psychologically, they were psyching these guys out. And these players are very young. I mean, that's why I said in my previous video, when it comes to the players or the average players or the average age in Kaizer Chiefs right now, it shows there's a lot of work. It shows that the experience is lacking more in the kind of position that is really needed. Ustebe, I think he's one of the outstanding players at Wille, but obviously he's only been giving these performances only now. Right? Now, hence why I am saying that for me, it's disheartening to see the level of commitment that these players are giving. You don't even understand that the players there, they're going to the stadiums watching such football. Let's look at number two, why I'm saying what I'm saying. Another thing that you have to look for is the kind of chances that we're creating. We're really hasty. We're playing a lot of long balls. We don't hold the ball enough to show confidence that we can actually create. There's a few chances that you created, but they all came from crosses. We didn't try to penetrate from the inside. And if we did, it was all rushed, really hasty. We don't take our time, relax, compose yourself and finish or pick a player. Hence why I said that the decision making has been lacking. Now, now you're thinking, is it really the coaching? Because the coach can only, do so much. Is Arthur Zwane really the problem in Kaizer Chiefs? That is my question today to you guys. Do you think Arthur Zwane is the problem? Because now, even the subs, he brings in Schrotter, takes out Umtutuze Shabalala because I feel he should have been staying there because we don't really have a number 10. Ne? He keeps Solomon. For me, Solomon is still a wing back, guys. Moving forward, I don't think he has enough creativity in him to take on players, be a thinker, pass when he has to, shoot. The technique, he doesn't even have the right technique. Sharp, he had a good game against Pirates. But you know that his economy or he being able to give us enough, he needs to be more of an attacking player. We need the creative ability from the players. We have Matlo on the bench. Try him out. Try him out and see if you can get something. You had Zwane. You introduced these players only later. Now, look at when Sirota comes. Sirota, when he comes in, he wants to whip in crosses at the wrong places, at the wrong time. They, I mean, really, I think with Patrick Masangayo on the right, that guy was even smiling when he was marking Sirota. Because Sebayama's, Sirota won't come inside. He'll go just on the flank. And when you whip in crosses, like we don't even have tall players who are good aerially. What's going on there? What's really going on with Kaizer Chiefs at the moment? Because for me, that's why I said that the one thing I feel they have to explore is getting either another assistant coach who can really drill whatever they're trying to do. Because the beginning of the season, umuntu bebadlala carpet football. They look like they're not going to be playing a lot of long balls. They want to have combination plays. They want to come inside. They want to take shots. They want to do this. They want to really play like a good team. They want to really combine, see that chemistry. But apart from the play itself, you have to look to the players as well. The players yesterday didn't show hunger. They didn't show like they really wanted to win the game, because half of the time, most of the time, I believe you would see Super Sport actually putting the effort. The players were holding the ball in the right time or in the right areas, and they were making right decisions. Hence, why now coming to the goal itself, as much as we can say Peterson was at fault, but now he was at fault because SuperSport were asking questions. SuperSport were taking chances, they were taking shots in front of the defense, in front of our midfield as well. And Abu Maheman, they're pushing us out. Undlovu was winning all the individual duels. So when you look at the game itself holistically, you have to understand that yes, you create your own luck. Yes, it was a something out of nothing. It was a mistake from Peterson, but the thing is, SuperSport were controlling the game more. The stats sometimes don't give us everything because they'll show that Kaiser Chiefs had more of ball position. But where were they using that position? In the midfield. But it's not. So for me, big talking points. Heard in the news that after the game, after Zwane was hurled with amabhodlela. The fans were angry. He had to be escorted. I don't know. I don't know about next season. For me, yes, they're bringing a lot of players, but for me, that's not a good sign because most of the time when that happens, either I feel they're gonna give him maybe 10 to 15 games to really see if are the players the problem or is the coach the problem. But we know that the problem stems from top. But that's a conversation for another time. I just want us to start with the game. So for me, the game, um, the score justifies the game itself. Supersport deserves the win outright. I mean, I can't even remember at the top of my head the chances that we created. So it shows that we need to reinforce in quality. Now it shows that Upiliat, we actually without them, there's not enough creativity that we can see from these players. Individual brilliance was not there. I mean, I remember Marit taking a shot as well, which was really, you can tell that it was out of desperation. We're not looking to combine as a team. We were more on relying on the pace of Fusail and Dupree, which, I mean, coaches can plan around that any day. Just wait for them, let them push the ball forward aimlessly. We don't know where, and they expect to hit these tap ins most of the time instead of them being able to play a more cleaner football where they can play in front of the defense, they can take chances comfortably on the ball, make the goalkeeper make the save. Goss was on a holiday yesterday. So for me, Kaizer Chiefs, there's a lot of things to fix. There's a lot of things to work on there because the kind of players that they have now, I don't think it's enough. They look like a top 14. They look like a top 18 even. So for now, Kaizer Chiefs, I think it's time we accepted that has football left this club? Has football really, really left this club? And of course, the thing is, being a family business, it's hard for them to get advice that is right for them. They need football brains there. I feel there's a lot of decisions, money that's been wasted on having to do the same thing. But also on that note, having to understand the fans' reaction and the fans' anger. I don't think it starts with Atazwane. For him, as much as this game alone showed a lot of things, it's not enough for me to say that it started with him. It started 8 years ago with the decision they've been doing, the players they've been bringing in, the money they've been wasting, and the manner in how they've been doing, they've been handling their football, or the manner of how they've been buying players. So it's a big question mark if now with the fans' reaction, because we know Kaiser Chiefs most of the time they react when the fans now demands a certain amount of change. So we'll see. They haven't published a statement so far. That's for it's going to be interesting to know or to see what's going to be the response from his sporting director, Ubobi, and everyone else. So this game alone, I think it's a preseason for next season to see the kind of new Kaiser Chiefs that we can expect. But that's my opinion. Like I said, leave a comment in the comment section if you happen to see this video and have a difference of opinion. Tell me what you guys think and all that. And the last game I wanted to be able to cover or talk about is, I wish I had a flag somewhere so I can put it on, man. Mamelodi Sundowns against Wydad Casablanca. Very, very tough fixture. Very, very tough fixture. A very, very tough. Look, it's a tough fixture. But we as South Africans have to be proud for having a team that can show us how football should be played. It's almost as if I was watching Manchester City, man. Ooh, Sundowns are very smooth, guys. Sundowns are very, very smooth. And playing away in Casablanca in a sold-out stadium. Sold-out stadium. Now, okay, let's look at the players. Sundowns, as expected, they came with the lineup that we all. The only change that I did say that in my previous video, that Tupetul has been looking very, very comfortable. I think now he's gotten his feet, because maybe they were introducing him as a sub and giving him a chance in some of the matches where they were not necessarily under pressure to win them, but I think that's where they give him enough game time so that he can actually play or give him a first lineup. So there, for me, it was a good shape to. It was a good team, but obviously all the players that we expected there. Zwane was in the team. Peter Shalilile was there. Hey, I wonder where's Keisha, because he's been good for them. I don't know if he's on. I don't think is he injured or what? Because that's one of the things that I kind of seen or saw, that that's the only change that for me. But he's a young player, man. He's a young player. So that's the one thing I thought maybe he would be given a chance. But let's look at the players. For me, as usual, let's start with the defense there. Betul, I've already talked about him. Let's see. Phone is a bit slow. Sharp. So it was Betul, Toby, Mvala. I know a lot of guys don't like this guy for some reason, but this guy has been holding it down for them. Yeah, when it comes to the defense, as well out. He's solid. This guy. Tebo Khomokwen is expected. Another surprise in the lineup was Osipe Mbule. And for these two guys, they combine well there in midfield. For me, I didn't expect Osipe Mbule to get a lineup. Maybe as a change, yes. And Neo Mayeme as well. Tapelo Morena. That was a good, unexpected as well. And also Upita Shalulile. I think Tapelo Morena, for me, Bamfarele because of his experience. Because if you've seen CAF, he's been bailing them out in very important games. That guy, you can bench him for 5 games or 10 games or so, comes in as a sub, he still proves himself as a good player. And at his age, he's been keeping well, yeah? He's got pace and he's composed as well. So for me, I was expecting goals in this game. But as you saw, Neoma Emo got a red card before second half or before first time even finished. So there for me, I think one thing that we have to take our hats off and admit is the character that Sundowns showed. Because even after the red card, these guys were still holding the ball very well. They still actually showed that they wanted to get a goal away from home. So I think for them, it's a win. For Sundowns is a win, judging from the fact that they got 2 red cards in this game. But there's a lot of things, like I said, in terms of the tactical shape that you can actually learn from. Which Sundowns is a very very difficult team to break down. Even when they are one man down, these guys didn't look in any way that they're one man down. So that's the one thing that you can appreciate when you're watching such football. You can expect that these guys have got a big heart. They've shown that they really are a contender. For me, I tipped them to go all the way. Looking at the way, I don't think Wydad was really that. I didn't expect them to be this. It wasn't a difficult match for me for Sundowns to win it, but obviously looking at the stakes, them being uh, in a semi-final and all that, it was always going to be difficult. Let's be fair. But for me, Sundowns shown a lot of character, even though they were one man down. Tebogo Mokoena in the midfield, as always, looked very solid. Peter, I think he had two chances, even a bicycle kick there. So that game for me going to the second leg, I see Sundowns going. I see Sundowns going, looking at what they've just shown us in this game alone. They've shown that they have enough quality to at least get a goal. But now, the only problem I have with this game is the fact that if Wydad scores a goal, they're in trouble. If they draw with a 1-1 or 2-2, whatever, if Wydad scores in this game, they have to be careful now. Yes, it's all to play for in the semis because they're going to be playing home. The advantage, yes. But Wydad as well, they did good. But I must say, man, I've always had this opinion about playing in these North African teams. When it comes to the officiating, it seems like, look, I'm not saying the red cards are not valid, but it seems like the behavior in how the officiating was, it feels like it was favoring you with that. And they can be thankful of the fact that they were playing the first leg away from home than the other way around. Because it was going to be another, in terms of the emotions, these guys kept it a very cool head. Like the last time they've shown us, there's experience in the team. But it's all to play for. For me, it's a very interesting game to look out for. But that's my reaction, guys. For me, I'm interested to see or to hear from you guys what you think. But the Sundowns, for me, they've shown this season that they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in Africa. For them to come out with a draw, having been down to 9 men, that can actually show you the kind of seriousness this team, or the quality and the pedigree that the team carries. So outstanding players for me, Temba Zwane as always, and I'll choose Tebogo Mokoena for me. He's replaced Uchali very well there. He's made this his Aikata language. He's made that midfield his, and he protects the defense very well. So I think overall as a team, even to Rhulani Mokoena, man, hats off to that guy. He's a very young coach, but technically, sorry, he's I think that we can expect a bit more. He has learned from the best, and he's also coming up with his own ideas. I mean, each and every game we see a lot of things that you wouldn't expect. That you think this guy I think also maybe it's because he's protected by, he has a good ears around him, and that's the kind of shape I think these other teams can learn. We can learn a lot from not only having the kind of squad that they have, but the technical team that is able to really, really come together well, put their differences aside, and work together. And that's the kind of mentality we are seeing on the field of play, because I think that these guys are well coached. These guys, let's be fair, these guys are well coached, and the quality supplements what they're doing, because there is no way in hell they can play so good playing away from home and consistently showing the kind of quality week in and week out. So for me, that's my take on the weekend as well. And special shout out, congratulations to Polokwane City. They've actually won the Mutsepe Foundation Championship, meaning they've won automatic promotion to the PSL. So apart from that, guys, that's it for me for this week. Check you on the next episode. Please do not forget once more to like, share, subscribe, and click on the subscription bell to get more of these exciting videos. Thank you so much. Sharp, sharp. Thank you, Nyabo.